Hello friend, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayana. I am a self-taught fashion designer, and today we'll be talking about 6 skills that I think every fashion designer should have. So these skills are in no particular order. I did write down in my little notepad right here so I could just stay on track of everything and not ramble too much in this video. But the first one we are going to get into is color knowledge. So color knowledge really ties into you picking out your fabric, but I know everybody's design process is different, but it is just good to know color knowledge because you can create what is called color stories for your design, which is like, say you're going for all fall colors. You start with one and then you can pick from that one and just pick and pick and pick and pick and make a color story or a color family. And then also it's nice to know complementary colors, like what colors complement each other well. If you're going for a monochromatic feel, you can get into the monochromatic, which is just the same color in different shades. But yeah, color knowledge is great to know. And also there's a thing called color psychology where different colors can give you different feelings, and but there's just a lot of different things that color can do in the fashion world, period. So color knowledge is great to have. Now on to the second skill, which I think is probably the most important skill, which is garment construction. Garment construction is very, very, very important. It's how the garment is put together. Does it need a zipper? Does it need a button? Does it need elastic in the band? What does it need to be worn easily? It's actually the one that I spent the most time on when I was learning everything. And it's funny now when I like look at my different clothes that's in my closet when I'm wearing it and stuff, and I'll notice like how the garment was constructed, and I'll be like, oh, maybe the designer should have did this for it to fit better, for it to be more comfortable. And yeah, that is garment. Okay, so now for the third skill, fabric knowledge. Fabric knowledge is very important because when it comes to picking out fabric, it can be a headache. And I mean that. It can really be a headache because you need to know, is the fabric breathable? Is it the fabric have stretch? Is it the right weight? Does it need to be layered if it's a mesh? And what fabric are you going to layer it with? Like, there's just so many different things that go into fabric. It could be a lot. And what doesn't help, there's so many different fabrics. There's silk, there's leather, there's tweed, there's velvet, spandex. The list just goes on and on. It could just get to be a lot when you're picking out the fabrics. And fabric is one of my weaker skills, and I am still working on that, but it is something that I'm trying to get better and better at. But yeah, fabric knowledge is very important. The fourth skill that I'm going to talk about is the ability to sketch. You don't have to be the best, but it is great to be able to sketch a little bit just so you can compute to others what your design is supposed to look like, and to your manufacturers what your design is supposed to look like, and the details as best as you can. Just try as best as you can. I don't think I'm the best at sketching, but I can get my point across good enough. I will say when I was starting out, I did have a sketchbook and just like pencils, and then I moved up to an iPad. I would recommend, if you're a designer, to get an iPad, especially if you're someone that can't sketch the greatest. Yeah, I definitely recommend an iPad. They do offer tons of different apps that can help you with sketching. They have figure templates, they have clothing templates, purse templates, shoe templates. It doesn't matter what kind of designer you are, they have the template for it. They even have like fabric pins on the different apps, and there's just a lot of different animation you can do with it, and like create your own fabric pin and like really manipulate the sketch and make it look a lot more realistic. I recommend to get an iPad to better your sketching skills. And now for the fifth skill, which is sewing basics. It is good to have a little bit of sewing knowledge, especially because it ties into garment construction. And I know not everyone can get their hands on a sewing machine, but if you can't get your hands on one and like actually do the hands-on work, I would definitely recommend checking out some sewing books and different things like that, YouTube videos. But I would definitely recommend at least knowing hemming and some of the different seams that you can use. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that go into sewing, but I did learn hands-on, and I did read books. I will say hands-on, at least for me, was better, but do what you can. And for the sixth skill, we have business knowledge. Business knowledge really ties in your marketing, your branding, all those important things that really make your brand your brand. And I do have with me this fashion business manual. I got this off of Amazon a while ago. I will say it is more catered to like the bigger brands like a Gucci or a Chanel or something like that. But there is a lot of resources in here just for you to get the gist of like the business end of a fashion brand. And I will say, luckily for me, I do have people in my life that do have their own businesses and could really lend a hand and like help me understand business. So yeah, those are 6 skills that I believe every fashion designer should have. I will probably make individual videos for each skill, or if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask and I can make videos that are more in depth of each. Get a little bit more comfortable with being on camera, so bear with me. I am also recording on my iPhone, so my quality might not be the greatest, but don't eat me up too bad. I do plan on getting a camera eventually. And yeah, thank you for all the support, and until next time, bye.